Hello everyone, my name is Dylan, and today I'd like to show you my aquarium and standard procedures as well as feeding. Okay, let's jump right into this. I have a wide variety of fish in this aquarium, going everything from parrotfish, tiger barbs, as you see swimming in the back. You'll also see some sharks as well as a majority of cichlids. We also have a needlefish in here. You'll get to see him eat in a moment, as well as a plecostomus. I'm not sure if you'll see him. He likes to hide and eat algae. But first of all, let's look a little bit at the fish. If you look closely, you'll see a royal blue cichlid. He likes to swim with his partner, which is another royal blue cichlid. You should see right here. The other one is right there. Alright, I have 3 orange cichlids in this aquarium. Here's one of them. Very nice fish. These fish are aggressive fish, so I would recommend having an aggressive tank with only cichlids, because they don't really get along well with the other fish. These fish all get along fine because they were all introduced at the same time. Now this is more of a jewel cichlid right here, a royal blue cichlid. Now I'd like to show you this fish before it runs off. This is, alright, let me zoom up a little bit here. This is a rainbow cichlid. This would be the tank leader. Very, very aggressive fish. Doesn't really get in any arguments with any of the other fish, but it will let you know that this is its territory. Now, we also have some bala sharks here. This one's swimming alone, but I also do have 2 others to keep it company. There's another. Now, this is a parrotfish. Very nice fish. This is actually a hybrid fish. There is no way this fish can breed. It was created. And there its partner is, right over there. Okay. Now that we've seen a good little clip of the fish, I'd like to show you the feeding. Now, before I get into feeding, there's one very important thing to do that I like to do every day, just to make sure that everything's running properly, and that is check the pH. So, as we look to the bottom, I have a little setup here showing you what all we're going to be using today. I have a little standard pH test, which is in the middle. I have some little minnows that I'm going to use to feed the fish. There's 4 of them. Some New Life Spectrum food, as well as some algae tablets for my plecostomus. Although I do have algae in this aquarium, I do like to throw a little extra in just for it, because it was newly introduced to this aquarium and I want to make sure that it eats right. So, first thing is, I'm going to go to the top of the aquarium, turn the light off. I'm going to lift it up, and you'll see 2 doors. My aquarium has 2 doors. I'm just going to lift them up. Now, you'll notice all the fish become very excited because they know that this is feeding time. Before I do any feeding, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a pH test out and check the water. I like to check the water before I feed the fish because I don't want the water to read any different because I put fish food in there. So what you're going to do with this is just take it, put it in the water, twirl it a couple times, pull it out, and take it over, lay it face down like that. We'll leave that for a minute, come back and check that. But now that I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the New Life Spectrum. This is their food. I'm going to take this, place it right here. Now, one thing I'd like to mention is I like to take the pH tests and look at them periodically from day to day to make sure that there isn't any substantial changes in the water that could affect my fish. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to open it just like this, and I'm going to feed them. Now, if you have any carnivore fish that eat other fish, I recommend you throw this in there. first, because my needlefish isn't very aggressive. He likes to hang out in the back, as you see him here, and I like to distract all the other fish, mainly the cichlids, before, so he gets his chance to eat as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, put it right in the middle, and I'm going to take a little pinch, throw it in the water just like that. As you see, all my fish are eating, very happy. Now, I don't want to leave the other side out. I like to equally distribute it, so there isn't a conflict. Okay, throw a little bit more in there. Now that I've done that, I'm going to take the feeder fish, the 4 minnows, and I'm going to put them in here. Now let's watch this needlefish here, because he will have one in his hand very soon. As I said, the needlefish is very fast, and he will always get the fish first. Now he went off to hide and eat his food, but as you see, there he is. Let me zoom up on him so you can see him. He already ate the fish. Very fast fish. Now, he'll eat anywhere from 1 to 2 fish at a time. I like to throw 2 in there, so he does have a chance. Survival. Now here's another fish. That one's a big one, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to be eaten or not. We might put him back in the tank with his buddies. But for now that I've done these things, I'm going to do 2 more things. I have this food that you can buy at your local fish store. This is just algae tablets for your algae eater. So what I'm going to do is I, again, am going to take 1 tablet and just throw it in the mix. Let me do this. Okay. Now, you could break these tablets up. I don't recommend doing that, because in my aquarium, my fish will try to eat it. They'll try to eat it anyway, but I don't want them to swallow and choke on it. So now that I've done this, the majority of my fish are happy, swimming around. That's the way they want to be. Another maintenance checkup that I like to do is I like to look at the temperature very often. I'm not sure if you can tell with this camera, but it is right at 78 degrees, which is the desired temperature for my tropical fish. The final thing that I will do is I will check the pH to make sure that everything is fine. Now, if you look at the side of these index, you will see that it gives you a little color code chart to tell you what's good and what isn't. Okay, well, the first is nitrates. My nitrates are perfect. Nitrites are fine. My pH is a little high, but I recently put some water clarifier in there. I'll talk about that in a minute. So that explains why that is. The general hardness is fine on both. So what I'll do is I like to keep this and just hold it aside right there. I took these out just for the purpose of this video, but we'll get back to the fish. I like to often check on the fish to make sure that they are doing well. As you look here, these fish aren't fighting. They are a man and a woman. They are just playing around. But I do like to watch the characteristics of the fish to make sure that they do get along well together. Or to make sure that there isn't any picking on each other. That wouldn't be good. Now I have 5 tiger barbs in the left hand corner here. They typically like to school together, and as we see here, they're kind of just hanging out in the corner. I recently changed the landscape of the aquarium, or aquascape. So the fish are still curious, looking around a little bit. Now I have a little rainbow shark swimming over here. Now this is one of my favorite fish. This is a lepord cichlid.